Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports, sharing my collection. In this episode, I'm going to share with you my baseball bat collection. I'm not sure if this is going to only be a one-part video or a two-part video. It's just going to depend on the time. But I'm going to separate these into store model type bats I've picked up over the years at flea markets, antique malls, etc. Then I'm going to show you also my autographed bats. So depending on the time, we may make this a two-part video. So I am going to just scroll right up and we're going to get right to work. And as you can see, zoom out here, this is my bat rack. And this bat rack does not normally stay here. This bat rack holds up to 8 bats. I'm not going to put the bottom 3 down, just for filming purposes. But this is a bat rack that I bought many, many years ago at an antique mall, or not an antique mall, but a swap meet. And the woodwork person was there selling this for like 15 bucks. I'm talking about the rack, not the bats. And ironically, I bought some bats, I think, at that same place. And that day that I bought the bats, I'm like, well, I need a bat rack. Well, I've moved around quite a bit throughout my adult life, so I've never actually been able to mount it. You can see the 2 screw holes, on the bottom, the top, and down at the bottom there. And I've never been able to mount it on a wall, but one day I hope to be able to maybe find a room and find a home that I'm able to mount it to the wall. So I'm going to be switching these bats in and out throughout the video, so there's going to be a lot of cut edits in this video, so I apologize about that in advance, but that's kind of how I have to shuffle the bats around so I can share them all with you. So let's just jump right in here and we'll take a look at some of the bats. Alright, so this first one is a Hillerich and Bradsby Pete Rose bat, and right below it is a second Pete Rose Hillerich and Bradsby bat. Now, I'm not too sure about the model differences here. Obviously, the printing's just a little bit different, but I'm not able to really tell you which one is older than the other one, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with the color one. Maybe this one is a little bit older than the top one, but I'm not too sure. Right below that is a familiar fellow. This has actually been featured in a recent pickups video, and that is the Louisville Slugger Tony Gwynn bat. So that is one, and right below the Tony Gwynn is another Hillerich and Bradsby Ralph Kiner model bat. And below that, on the bottom, sorry about the shadowing there, it's got my head and the camera, but is another Hillerich and Bradsby Hank Aaron bat. So those are the first 5. I just want to step back and talk a second here. All of these bats that I've shown you and the ones that I'm about to show you, I have bought throughout the last 30 years of my life, basically, and almost 90% of these bats have all been bought for like under $10. So I'm going to be showing names to you of guys that are some of the greatest baseball players in the history of the game, and I paid less than 10 bucks for these bats. Now, let me take one step back here before I take these off the rack and talk about condition. As you can see, condition, just like baseball cards, comic books, anything else, video games, it's always about condition. Some of these bats, if you were to grade them on a scale of 1 to 10, would easily come out to be a 1. I mean, this Pete Rose bat, for example, you can see where the tape marks on there, and there's also a crack in the bat. The Tony Gwynn, although not that visible, does have a crack in the bat. So obviously, value-wise, if it's not a cracked bat, it's worth more than an uncracked bat. So that's another thing to point out, that a lot of these You know, if you're not worried about condition and you just want to say, hey, you know, I own a Hank Aaron bat or a Mickey Mantle bat or a Jackie Robinson bat. If you're not worried about condition, you can find these bats for $10 or so. If you're worried about condition, you're probably going to be paying, you know, a lot more money for those bats. So let me just hop right off screen for a second here, and we'll just shift the bats around and show you the next 5. Alright, so here's the next round of bats. The top bat is another Hillerton Bradley, and it is a Hank Aaron bat, and you can tell that it's well used. The next one, right below that, is a Roger Maris. Get the blurriness out of there, and as you can tell on those top 2, very well used. Alright, below that, another Hillerton Bradsby Al Kaline model, and you can actually still see the Al Kaline, luckily. And below that, this one's in a little better shape, but it does have the crack. You can see the crack right there, and it's a Hillerton Bradsby Tony Oliva bat. And below this, I don't even know this brand, Revelation, and this is a youth model bat, Steve Garvey. And you can see that it's a youth model bat because you can see the length compared to the full-size bat right above it. But if you look down on the corner there, I only paid $3 for it, and that was actually featured in a pickups video too a little while back. So moving on. All right, so the next 5, this is one of the favorite ones of my collection, and I showed this in a pickups video a little while back. And this is the Sears and Roebuck Ted Williams. And I want to say softball bat because it is super thick and huge. Right below it is another Little League bat, and you can see how big that bat is compared to the Little League bat below it. And that Little League bat is Roger Maris. So a Spalding Roger Maris bat, and who else right below Roger Maris than Mickey Mantle. And as you can tell, the Mickey Mantle was quite worn off of the bat. And to be funny, this Hillerton Bradsby model, somebody actually signed it, Stan Musial. And this is not Stan Musial's autograph. I have many Stan Musial autographs in my collection. But my guess is that some older brother or somebody was teasing somebody and they signed the Mickey Mantle bat with Stan Musial's signature on there just to play a dirty trick on somebody. So that is not actually Stan's autograph on this Mickey Mantle bat, but that's my Mickey Mantle bat. Also below that is a Nelson Fox, and there's another Revelation. So, you know, Steve Garvey and Nelson Fox have that in common. They both work, you know, were sponsors of Revelation bats or use Revelation's bats. And below that is, and this one's really hard to tell because it was a black bat and it's very worn, is another Hillerton Bradsby Little League version of Eddie Matthews, the great Milwaukee, Atlanta Brave, Boston Brave technically too, but this one's a little harder to see, so I'm going to zoom in. You can kind of faintly see the Ed Matthews still on there, but it's pretty hard to see, especially with my shadowing here. Sorry about that, but that's another 5 in my collection. Alright, so the next, this time I did 5 more. And one of these bats has been featured in an episode, but these are kind of probably a couple of the most iconic ones in my collection. And these are the Jackie Robinson Hillerton Bradsby model bats. And I believe the second one is the one I showed in the video. The top one I had from a previous purchase. And below that is a Rawlings version of Jackie Robinson in a Corey League bat. So this is not the official Louisville Slugger / Hillerton Bradsby Company version, but a unique Rawlings Jackie Robinson bat. And below that is some random bat that says Leacock, I believe that says. And there is no name. Sorry about the camera shadow there, but there is no name on the bat. It's just been worn down. And the bat below that is very faint, but you can make out the name, if I could see here. Actually, no, I can't make out the name on this one, and I'm not really sure what this bat is. Again, that could be a softball bat, but that just came in the collection, so to speak. When I bought some of these bats, that one was in there. So we'll move on to, it looks like, the last 7. All right, so I'm going to show these next 4, then I'll show the final 3 and wrap up this video. But these are, again, not in the best shape, but we'll start at the bottom and work our way up this time. And this is another Hilrich and Bradsby, and that is an Kaline bat again. Right above that is another Hank Aaron bat, and again, not in the best shape, but this one does not have a crack, so that's the cool part about that. It's because of the lighter lumber, so to speak, you can really still see the Henry Aaron name on there. Above that is another Revelation bat by Eddie Matthews, so that's the second Eddie Matthews in my collection. And on the top, this dirty old boy is a Frank Robinson model bat, Hilrich and Bradsby again. So there's another 4 great Hall of Fame bats. Again, not in the best shape, but when you only pay $10 or less for them, not a bad pickup. And we'll show you the final 3 right now. Alright, so we're down to the final 3 unsigned store model bats in my collection. This one is really tough to see, so I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. But this top one, I can't even tell you what brand it is. It's been so worn. It could be a Louisville Slugger, Hilrich and Bradsby, I'm not sure. But if you look really close, this is a Joe Dimaggio bat. And I know it may be very difficult to see. I can kind of see it through the camera there. But you can make out the Dimaggio on the bat. Now, of course, this could be a Dom Dimaggio bat. I'm not sure. But this is a Dimaggio bat, and it is in the roughest shape that you could possibly find a baseball bat, in my opinion. Right below that, however, is a Rawlings version of the Mick himself, Mickey Mantle. And this is actually one of 3 Mickey Mantle bats that I blurrily have in my collection. And I say 3 because this one, like the Dimaggio, is a black Hilrich and Bradsby, and that shadow's not helping, I apologize. And this is also a Mickey Mantle bat, and it's really hard to tell again, but you can see the word Mantle, about right there on the bat. And again, it might show up better with the naked eye or with camera. I apologize if you can't see it. But I actually have a 3rd Mickey Mantle bat, and I don't have it in my house. It's actually back at my parents' house, and that was a Mickey Mantle bat that my uncle gave to me when I was a kid that was his bat when he was a kid. So that one has some sentimental value to me, where these others, were found at yard sales, flea markets, whatever. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I am going to share with you my autographed bats. It's going to be a shorter video most likely. I don't collect a lot of signed bats, but on occasion I do get a few signed here or there. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed me showing off my bat collection. This is the big pile laying next to me off camera. As you can see, I got quite a few in my collection. That's actually a signed bat that you're going to see in the other episode. So if you stay tuned, I will post that episode at a later date, and I will link it at the end of this video once I get it posted. And definitely I look forward to your comments below. Thanks for watching.